Welcome to the Moon Magic Tarot channel. Thank you so much for joining me for these new moon eclipse angel readings. I always do an angel reading close to the new and the full moons. And this is a very powerful time, eclipse season. Things can happen very quickly. So we are asking for guidance, advice from your angels. We're drawing 3 cards and I can see them already. And we'll also draw runes and charms as well. So, reading number 1, you have 8 of Angels. This is your card, Confusion. Okay. Reading number 2, Page of Angels, Mysticism. Reading number 3, 3 of Angels, Clarification. Okay, now if you find yourself drawn to more than one of these readings, do check them both out. Your intuition will inevitably take you to exactly the right reading. But let's draw charms and runes for those of you that like that extra bit of guidance. Okay, so charms, reading number 1, you actually have the dolphin. Reading number 2, the anchor. And reading number 3, we have, I'm just going to say, an angel wing with a rose here. It doesn't look like a bird wing, it looks like an angel wing. And your runes, reading number 1, you have the rune of harvest. Reading number 2, you have the rune of initiation. Reading number 3, you have the rune of ice. Okay, super souls, I'm going to leave the video running just for a moment or two. If you need any more time to just listen to your intuition and guide you in, then just press the pause button. Super souls, I'll put the timestamps in the information box and comments as well for phone users. See you in the readings. Welcome, reading number 1. You have been guided into this reading by the 8 of Angels, Confusion. We have the rune of harvest and we have the dolphin. It's very interesting because I sort of feel like this angel is almost standing in water. There's a lot of watery energy here. The dolphin. Dolphins, of course, can, you know, they need to breathe outside of the water, but they deep dive. I sort of feel like something that you have maybe been working at is either about to emerge or it's about to take off, or the direction, the next step may be shown to you. I don't want to say too much because we haven't drawn any cards at all yet, but I do feel there's something that's been underwater. I'm going to say nothing more just yet. Let's draw some cards straight away. We're going to draw some oracle cards. Here's your card. We'll draw an Archangel Michael card. Yes, definitely. Going to do 3, I think. And I'm actually also going to draw some more cards from this pack here. It's actually the Tarot of Light. It has a beautiful set of angels within one of its suites of cards, or suits of cards rather. I think there's 2 there. Yes. Right. Let's have a look and see what we have right now. Reading number 1. What are we being shown around this eclipse season? So we have, first of all, Metamorphosis, the release. We then have 10 of Trees, Loyalty, and 2 of Angels, Balance. place these in here for you. We then have Archangel Michael, guarded and protected. Detach from the situation. Romance angels are helping you. That's really interesting. Okay, then we have also Angel of Grounding. Oh, this is beautiful. Absolutely lovely. Angel of Grounding and Horse. Care for others and let them be free. Archangels Mary and Christiel. It's very interesting. Do you know, the first thing that came to mind when we turned this card over, reading number 1, was horsepower. You know, horses are equated with power. You know, when tribal peoples were able to start to use horses, they could ride, they could go further, they could hunt better, they could achieve more, they could plough fields. Horses have always been a friend or an aid or an empowerment to mankind, to humankind. And it's interesting that, you know, even engines, you know, they're measured in horsepower. I've always found that quite an interesting kind of fact. Care for others and let them be free. Okay, there's a lot of confusion around you, and I'm going to say predominantly, I think it connects to relationship here. Okay, let's move these cards up. We're going to draw loads more for you, reading number 1. But I think you're torn about something, and it's connected to some aspect of relationships, to the point where I think you're maybe not quite sure which way to go. If you have met somebody, maybe it's thrown your world into confusion, but you kind of don't quite know where your loyalties lie. Should you, you know, maybe you've met somebody who lives somewhere else. You know, do you follow through and up sticks? Do you leave something behind? Where do your loyalties lie? You may actually be tangled up in some aspect of a connection with someone where somebody wants your loyalty, or you feel, you know, what you want goes against the needs of somebody else, or puts you in an awkward position. There's something here that's needing you. It's like you're coming up for air. Here, confusion, there's a challenge here, and it's slowing down your progress. Okay, now what we are being shown here with the card of grounded or grounding, Angel of Grounding, alongside guarded and protected and detached from the situation. I'm going to put Romance Angels up here for a moment, because I feel these cards are really, really saying so much to you. There's a challenge within some aspect of relationship for you. I sort of think it for some people it may relate to intimacy and love in a partnership, an intimate partnership way. But for others, ultimately, there's someone you love. You're tangled in some aspect of confusion to do with someone that you love. There could even be a power thing going on for some of you, like lots of different choices, lots of different people giving their different opinions. And it's kind of, I think you're feeling a bit like you need to come up for air, really. And actually what your angels are saying to you is, yes, do come up for air. But come up for air not in a gasping for breath and down you go again. Come up for air and rest. Come up for air and meditate. Come up for air and rebalance yourself. You are being helped here. There's no question of this. You're being helped. You're being guided to step away from the situation. Detach yourself from the situation. Not to worry. I think this is actually quite a fraught, for some of you, quite a fraught situation. What is really interesting, and I do think there's a lot of love involved here. Lots and lots and lots of love. So it could be a situation to do with either that you're your family members that you love, parents, parenting in some way, shape or form, or it could be a partner, or it could be a friend, you know, the sort of friend that you think of as family. Whoever is raising this confusion for you, you care about them very much. And I think in a way you'd quite like, you know, when somebody isn't okay, basically. And do you know what you really want to do? You just want to fix it for them. You know, you want to take charge. You want to look after them. You want to help to change the situation. But I think this is a circumstance that needs to run its course. Something else has to be processed by others or by the universe or by something. There's something that you can't actually fix. It doesn't mean it won't get sorted out, but you can't personally make it happen right now. So this is really interesting, given that, you know, this is a timeless reading, so you could in reality be finding this at any time. But the fact that we're doing this reading in eclipse season, or right at the beginning of eclipse season, and at a point when, so that energy of transformation, metamorphosis is around. In many ways, what you're being advised here, super souls, is to actually literally let go of it, of the situation, not to try to force it. You know, care, but don't be involved. If you have friends who are parting company or something, there's stuff going on around you with someone or people around you immediately that you love, and you're feeling pretty confused about how best to handle this. In many ways, I think you do have a kind of an overview, and yet it's almost as if there's sort of potentially more than one solution. You're not quite sure which way to go. Maybe lots of other people also have an opinion or a thought about it, but you are being guided, you are being protected. I think something has to sort of find its own way through. That's really what we're being shown here. Let's draw some more tarot cards, and we'll draw from the Archangel Tarot. This is an Archangel Tarot pack, a power pack. What else are we shown? Let's have some more information about this situation for reading number 1. Okay. Let's look at the cards that have just thrown out. So you have 8 of Gabriel, a great deal of activity. Let me move those cards. A great deal of activity, sudden and immediate results, important communication. Okay, so we're going to see some stuff shift and change here. Okay, the current position, I think we're really being shown with eclipse energy how something is going to get processed. Right here and right now, I think there's a lot of energy in this situation. There's a lot of, maybe your loyalty is a bit torn. Do you do this or do you do that? Do you stand by this person or do you stand by yourself? Do you do what you think is right, or do you take into account what somebody else thinks is right? There's going to be a great deal of activity with sudden and immediate results through an important communication. Page of Michael, truthful, perceptive, analytical, blunt, an exciting new challenge. You have what it takes to succeed. Review contracts or documents very thoroughly. Okay, this reading is opening up. Page of Gabriel, energetic, brave, optimistic, playful. Follow your passion. You're ready for any challenge, opportunities for excitement and adventure. And look at this moving on. We've got 2 pages and then a queen. Oh, and then the sun. I mean, really, wow. Then the sun. Actually, let me put the 8 here, because I feel this is, just going to pick these up for one moment. So tune into this here. Right here and right now, whatever is taking place around you, whatever's pulling on your heartstrings, your guides, or most specifically your angels, are saying to you, look, we are helping you with this. You know, the key here is to remain grounded, to step back, stop trying to force it, step back. It's got to kind of emerge, okay? What we are going to see is some kind of communication coming in that will create a kind of a shift. And this is very typical of the energy of eclipse season. Even if you're not watching this in eclipse season, the energy of that shift, that sudden metamorphosis is around. And it's around you, it's coming through. You are being helped, something is going to shift, something is going to move forwards. There will be an important communication. In a moment, we'll run through some different scenarios because it's a general reading, and we'll draw cards around that. But reading number one, what I'm seeing is there's a lot of confusion and a lot of sort of, you know, is this going to come to fruition? Is this going to get sorted? Am I ever going to come through this? And you're being asked to sort of anchor yourself, get grounded, because it's feeling a bit emotionally overwhelming. Okay, you are being helped, you are being guided. Love is involved here. Your feelings, your emotions are involved. And actually, there will be a flurry of activity that is going to shift something forwards. And that flurry of activity is going to come through an important communication. So, Page of Gabriel, follow your passion. You're ready for any challenge, opportunities. So, something is going to shift here for you. And the fact that we have two pages, Page of Gabriel, Page of Michael, truthful, perceptive, analytical, blunt, an exciting new challenge. You have what it takes to succeed. Then we have the Queen of Gabriel, passionate, charming, brilliant, independent. You can do anything right now. Go after what you want. The ability to attract helpful people. And then the Sun. This for me is such an affirmation. Life is wonderful. Thrive through the power of positive thinking and inspiring success. Archangel Uriel. So what we're seeing here is a kind of a point where I actually think for some of you, you know, whatever this is about, that the heartstrings being pulled, you did feel, I think, at a certain point that you were on track. You know, you'd sown the seeds, you tilled the soil, you were nurturing. I think you felt that you were on track. And suddenly something happened that caused you to feel, by necessity for some of you, to be drawn into something that you've had to deal with or attend to. Love, connection, relationship is a part of this relationship for, I think, across the board here. But actually there will be a shift forward where you will sort of, it's like you'll regain your power. You know, maybe for some of you, you've been working solidly at something and then a family issue has come up that's meant that you've been needed. But it is going to shift, it is going to turn. If you were, you know, out there dating and you thought you'd met someone and then it turned out not to work and you kind of experienced a disappointment, or somebody else needed your time and energy and you had to come away and you didn't have the time to really invest, it's going to shift and turn, okay? What I'm really seeing here, reading number one, and it's really gorgeous, and I just want to I really want to voice this. What I think you have been doing is that whatever you were sort of on track with and then it knocked you off balance or whatever that was, you've never stopped being a giving person. It's really lovely. You've never stopped being a giving person. In many ways, it's because you're so giving that you perhaps sometimes get pulled away from the focus that you want to be focusing on, because you're naturally a very, very giving, caring person. You're a giving, caring soul. And sometimes that means that your loyalties are torn. It's like, do you look after you and the things you want to invest in, or do you look after the needs and things of somebody else? It's like you're torn in more than one direction. But right here and right now, any confusion you have, anything that's left you feeling a bit submerged, just come up for air, get grounded and meditate. Separate and stand away. You know, a communication is coming in, maybe even more than one, that's going to shift something forwards. There'll be a lot to do but it's going to move things forwards and get you back on track again. So this shift, this flurry of activity, I think maybe there will be more than one thing that has to be attended to. But actually, it's going to get you back on track again. This is what we're seeing here wholeheartedly. We've got 2 pages, so stuff starting to happen, starting to initiate stuff. And look at all the birds coming through here. You know, a great deal of activity being shown what you need to do. And then we have another owl here. Lots of, you'll be shown what you need to do next. So you don't have to try and rush it, speed it ahead, make it happen. It's going to be guided. The whole situation is going to be guided. Don't worry if your loyalties are torn, or you feel that you're stretched and you're not able to give enough to the things you really want to give. It's going to come back into balance. Okay, that the metamorphosis, the change is going to happen, and you will kind of almost just getting back on track. And because this is at the beginning of eclipse season, and I'm doing these readings in the energy of eclipse season and of a new moon. New moons are all about new beginnings. You know, the energy of the new moon is naturally wanting to help you. The energy of the new moon is naturally wanting to support this shift and turn, so that what you need comes to you to get back on track in some way, shape or form. Let's draw more cards and ask for more information about some of the different things that are going on maybe for you guys, because this is, of course, you know, it's a general reading. So let's ask for a bit more information and see what we're shown. I think what I'll do is use, I think we will actually use a tarot pack for this. I'm going to use one other angel card. Okay, I think we want one other angel card. We'll use one from here, and then we'll draw some tarot cards as well. Ah, this is interesting. You know what to do. Archangel Uriel, trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. This is such a guiding card, isn't it? I mean, what a statement of affirmation. When this communication comes through, whatever it is about, you really will know what you need to do to shift this forward. So you're not going to be like a passive receiver. I think you've been very busy doing, and now you're confused, you're not sure what to do next in whatever aspect of your world this reading is applying to. But when this communication comes through, you'll know exactly what to do. So don't worry about it, and don't preempt. That's coming through quite strongly. When we're concerned about something, or we're in that space of anticipation, we often go over and over and over it, and we think, well, if this happens, I'll do it this way, and if that happens, I'll do it that way. What you're being shown here, reading number 1, is when that communication comes through, you'll know exactly what to do. And it's going to flow in the most positive way. I mean, 2 pages, all about empowerment, all about clarity, all about optimism, all about independence, knowing that you can do anything right now, go after what you want, you know, the ability to attract helpful people, and then, you know, thriving here and inspiring success. So truly, reading number 1, whatever this is about, whatever the confusion, you don't need to overthink it or over worry. I think there's a danger of that happening here a little bit, perhaps. Let's move these along and place this just here, so we've got that in our vision. This is a very clear card for you. Now let's draw some cards and sort of just ask a little bit more about the kind of situations that reading number 1 are actually dealing with. We please ask, what kind of scenarios are we looking at for reading number 1? We're seeing 3 cards there. These are 2. Seeing this card. I'm just going to put those over there. Let's draw another 3 cards. There's your first. Oh, I can see them absolutely. First and second and third. Let's just have a look at these as different scenarios that are going on. What information are we being given here to help you to know or to navigate through? So we have Page of Swords, we have the Eight of Swords, excuse me, and we have the Five of Swords. Okay. What I'm seeing is and this is really adding, this is definitely adding, I can so see the confusion. I think you are dealing with so for some of you, part of the problem is that you're dealing with quite mixed messages, or either you're being given mixed messages from somebody, or and that could be deliberate. You know, they're not very clear themselves, so it leaves you not being very clear. Or they themselves are actually incredibly confused and they don't know what they want, and therefore you don't know how to help them with what they want. But there's something around here about the confusion. You know, lots of people not quite knowing, you know, other people don't quite know what's going on, and it means that you don't know where you stand either. Or too many people having too many thoughts about how best to approach this, and honestly, this is becoming a bit of a headache for you. Okay, but what we know here is that actually just stand back and get grounded, because this has to sort of metamorphosize. Is that the word? Well, it has to do that anyway, okay? It has to metamorphosize, if such a word exists, but I'm sure you know what I mean. It sort of has to process itself a bit. And you are being guided. So if this is to do with romance, maybe somebody isn't quite ready and it's leaving you thinking, I don't really know where I stand here. You know, why, you know, they've given you one message and then they've shown up and then they're not available. You're getting mixed messages. You're not sure if this is to do with some aspect of personal relationship, but I think they're needing to process something first before they can give you the message and the important communication that will allow you to know what to do. If there's confusion around a family member, it may be that there is more than one kind of potential solution. And it's not just you that's involved in making the decisions. There's more than one person involved here. And this is tying things up in knots because nobody really knows what's happening. For some of you, it feels like the blind leading the blind, you know, where somebody's coming to you for advice and you really actually don't quite know how to fix it. But I think, and you're trying to find the answers and you're trying to look into all the potential solutions. But it's kind of like the blind leading the blind. They don't really know what the answer is, and neither do you as yet, but you're feeling under pressure to provide it, you know. So these kinds of themes are going on around some of you here. But we have such a reassurance that once this piece of information, this communication comes in, you'll know where you stand, and this scenario will be lifted. It will move forwards, and we are seeing a really, really powerfully positive result. So whatever it is that you're wanting, it's going to be coming through, and you will know exactly what to do to respond to the situation. Let's look at the next set of cards. We have the Queen of Pentacles, we have the Three of Cups, and we have the Nine of Cups. Oh, this is very interesting. Oh, okay, so reading number one, for some of you, you've really achieved, it's almost like some aspect of your harvest, it has come in, okay, some aspect of your harvest, and I think you have every right to feel good about yourself, okay, so, but you're quite confused as to sort of what to do next, actually. There's a feeling of what to do next, or how to share what you have. Or even for some of you, coming back to romance again, because there is an aspect of this coming through. Maybe you've achieved a great deal in your career, and yet somehow there's confusion as to why, you know, the romantic side of your world, you know, you've manifested a ton of stuff, and yet something has eluded you, something hasn't come through properly. Well, again, communication from a friend. I think maybe, you know, a friend may introduce you to somebody, and it's going to lead to this Nine of Cups card here, this success, this celebration, this woohoo. Here it is, it's happening at last. You know, we can see that you're going to be taking action. Because this isn't a passive eclipse, just sit there and receive. This is something comes in, you'll know what to do, run with it here, because it's leading to something. So whether it's fixing the confusion, or, well, it's fixing the confusion either way, or whether it's actually, suddenly it's like, wow, I didn't think this was possible, and here it is. Yes, I know what to do. I'm going to act on it. Okay, so there's definitely... there's this sort of scenario at the top that we've talked about, but there's also something about you being fundamentally, having done really, really well in one aspect of your world, and yet something hasn't quite clicked into place somewhere else, whatever that may be. But it's going to. There's a real strength of connection, of friendship here. Friends, family, community coming through. So again, if you've had to take the lead in something here, and you know, you kind of know you're right, but there's been this sort of confusion going on, stand back from it. The resolution will come. Someone will come forward with a communication that will enable this situation to shift. But I do feel we're seeing major success here for some of you. Major success. For some people, the success is actually to get to the point where you're just not worrying about it anymore and it's no longer dragging you down. But for others, you know, I mean, we are overall seeing success. You will know what to do. Let's have a look at our last three cards. We have the Six of Cups. We have the Knight of Wands and we have the Eight of Wands. These are really interesting scenarios. The energy from these three sets of circumstances is very, very different. Now, this is a very different scenario. This one, I think there is, for some of you, there's been confusion around processing something that's almost historic, or you're having to let go of something. Or you're dealing with some aspect of your own inner child, or you're dealing with a child. Spoke about family connections before. But actually, as you let go and step away from it and actually start to enjoy yourself, the clarity will come. I think for some of you, the communication will come, almost that spark and that moment. You know, when you immerse yourself in a problem, or you kind of get to the point where you're reminiscing, you're going over and over something and you think, well, this is never going to work out, really don't know what to do, you know, and then you think, oh, do you know what, I'm just not going to sit here and worry about it anymore. You know, I'm going to go down the pub, or I'm going to go meet, I'm going to go out and I'm going to go and just join an evening class or do something. This is not going to happen for me. And you kind of almost, you close that door. And because you've been immersing yourself in the problem, it's almost as if it couldn't get fixed. And suddenly you let go of it completely. You just decide to go and have fun anyway. And bingo, the direction becomes clear to you. Something happens that opens a doorway. Because your energy has shifted into a space of positivity, of having, of celebrating, of being. So for some of you, if something has been holding you back, the confusion, maybe past situations, history in some way, insecurities. Suddenly you kind of get to this point where you think, do you know what? I'm just not hanging around in this state of mind anymore. I'm going to go out. I'm going to have fun. Look at the horsepower again here. You give yourself permission to release something, metamorphosis. You give yourself permission to release something, and it's almost with that communication, the direction becomes clear, you're shown the way, and you will need to take action. It's time to take action. You'll see the steps that you need to take. Very, very interesting. Very interesting reading number one. What I will say, I think, looking at this, for some of you, this, from one way or the other, this connects to something that really is to do with the way that you feel. It's to do with love, it's to do with loyalty, whether that is friendship or even loyalty to someone at work. There's the theme within this relationship is connected to relationship to somebody and a confusion or being torn, not quite sure. But the harvest will come in. Even if at the moment you feel like you're barely coming up for air, come up for air, get grounded, stand back. You know, often when we are so involved in something, we can't see the woods for the trees. And this is one of those scenarios where the energy, the new moon eclipse energy, is absolutely with you 1000% for the shift and the change to occur. And for the result to come that you want. I mean, we are looking at this, an inspiring success, and you will know what to do. So whether it is you're tangled in something that hasn't quite happened yet, or something else has, your loyalty has, you've been torn in a different direction, you haven't been able to have a voice, or you just couldn't see the solution. Whatever it is for you, reading number 1, there's going to be a turning point, and I would venture to say, timing wise, that it will probably happen within eclipse season if you are watching this reading within eclipse season. And if you're not watching it within eclipse season, because it is after all a timeless reading, then I would suggest that probably you are looking at a kind of a bit like an eclipse season period of time where maybe we've got a new moon and a full moon. It's like that sort of 2-week kind of period, 2 to 3 weeks around eclipse seasons, like a moon month. Even it could stretch to a moon month, but I feel within that cycle, you know, the rune of harvest speaks of natural cycles. So I think within a natural cycle, whenever you are watching this reading, within some kind of a natural cycle, an earth cycle, an earth measurement rather than a calendar measurement, or a planet measurement rather than a calendar. So not the way we mark time, but the way that the universe marks time. Within some kind of a natural rhythm and cycle, the shift will occur, the communication will come, you'll know exactly what to do, and it will be time to take action. Very clear advice, very, very clear advice here in this angel reading for you, reading number 1. Super Souls, it's been fab to do this reading for you, and I'm sorry about whatever has been going on, because yeah, it's hard to be feeling confused, not sure, but actually it's all going to be really, really fine, and it's a question of stepping away and not immersing yourself in the problem, but stepping back from it and sort of allowing it to unfold. Then exactly what you need to know will come to you. Super Souls, if you would like to get notification of any of my readings, if you subscribe and hit the little bell icon, they should come into your stream. And yeah, I will put links to anything and everything that I do. I give away a free private reading, a pack of oracle cards, a diary and a journal at the moment as well, every month in my prize draw. If you want to be in that, it's a subscriber offer. You would need to subscribe and then add yourself to my subscriber email list. I put tons of stuff into the world. I've just uploaded a video as well. You can watch this at any time in the year, how to use a moon diary and a journal for your own kind of soul growth, evolution, and your own ability to manifest consciously. So I put all sorts of stuff into the world. Do check out the other readings. There's a timeless readings playlist full of readings that answer specific questions. So if you have a wobble, just check them out and go find them. And also, if you have any readings that you would like me to do for you, do please make those suggestions and they will go onto my list. And as and when the timing is right in my preparations, I will do those readings for you. So Super Souls, reading number 1, it's been awesome to read for you. This is going to get sorted. It really, really is. So step away, stop worrying about it. Yeah, the empowerment will come back to you. It really, really will. Things are going to shift and change. Super Souls, sending you the biggest hug in the world. Welcome, reading number 2. You've been guided into this reading by the Rune of Initiation, the Page of Angels, Mysticism, and this Anchor. Now this is interesting because we have a butterfly here. This is a card of transformation, and I do feel that there's a lot of it's like there's a lot of water here, but it's transforming. It's almost like yeah, it's like you're putting down anchor. I feel like you're navigating something, coming into a harbour. You know, this is a rune of, it's like a rite of passage. You're coming into something in some way, shape or form, navigating a transition, a route, a journey, a transformation. Now, we'll draw more cards for you, reading number 2, and see what we are shown in this incredible time of new moon eclipse. Draw from the same pack as this actually initially, and I will of course I'll list the cards in the information box below for you, and the comments for phone users too. What are we shown for reading number 2 at this interesting, really powerful and interesting time? Let's draw some Archangel Michael cards as well. And lastly, another angel card. What do your angels have to say to you? Reading number 2. Let us have a look. So, 4 of Stars, advancement, loving it. 2 of Angels, balance. Knight of Stars, adventurer. Oh wow, look at this. Wow, look at this. Take back your power. Archangel Radleigh, use your God-given power and intention to manifest blessings in your life. This is like a serious point of anchor point. I mean, the anchor now for me is feeling not just like navigating into your harbour, but it's like coming home to something, having something. Take back your power. Butterfly again. Wow, guys, what are you up to? Reading number 2. Butterfly, be ready to transform with wisdom. Archangel, I don't know how to say this, Preminilek. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Preminilek. Wow. But look at the energy. And look at this. Look at this. All of these sort of like spirals in the waves, like sea creatures almost. And we have just the same here. This is actually a caterpillar, but you know, it's in the same spiral shape. The spiral of creation, the spiral of evolution, of transformation. Wow. What are you guys up to? I mean, you are upping your game, reading number 2 here. You are upping your game, you are moving into the world, you are advancing, you are embracing some aspect of your life, something that possibly has not been in balance. You are bringing it back into balance, and you're taking charge of this. I mean, this is happening actually. I'm going to put this card down here. This is happening for you. This is the anchor point when it's like you put down roots, you make it happen. Angel of Imagination. Wow. And a crescent moon here. Very interesting. You have shield yourself. Prayer will help this situation. And you have the card of innocence as well. Okay. Right. You're very, very sensitive at the moment. That's what I want to say. You are very, very sensitive at the moment. You are moving. It is my initial, the image that I was using. You are advancing. Okay. You're moving through, beyond, into your harbour, ready to anchor, ready to have the rewards of something that you have been working on, manifesting. I mean, you know, it's like a new adventure is about to begin because things are advancing. They're moving forwards. They're coming into balance. But I do want to say you will attract some envy as you move forwards. Okay, that's going to be there. And you are sensitive at the moment. You're particularly sensitive. You're very, very sensitive to energy. Because you're actually advancing, it's like in one way your world is opening up. There's some aspect of your world, reading number 2, and you know, I am doing, even though this is a timeless reading, I am doing it in the energy, the time, the incoming energy of eclipse season. It's a new moon. New moons are associated with new beginnings. Eclipse season, things can happen very quickly. They can advance, they can open up, they can move forwards. You are really, really embracing something and moving it forwards. You're kind of, it's like if a door opens, it's like you're like, right, I'm walking through it. You're emerging. You're transforming. In a way, stuff is actually advancing in ways that are going to, I think, possibly be quite fast. I think your angels are kind of saying to you, things could happen really quite fast during eclipse season. If you're watching this and it's at a different time and it's not eclipse season, I think the message is still the same for you. I think things could happen very fast for you at the moment. So be sure to hold the reins here. Step through those doors, but be very conscious that as you emerge, transform, anchor. The anchor is so interesting. It's really speaking to me of an anchor point where something you're doing gains traction. You know, if you were a bit wishy-washy, or not wishy-washy, that's not perhaps the right word, but maybe you were a bit out at sea, or you've been manifesting something or wanting something and it hasn't taken anchor. It's like the root never quite got into the soil yet. It's about to. And when it does and you emerge, I think your advancement is going to be pretty quick. I think things can happen very quickly. So 2 things here. One is, as you advance, as I have voiced already, I do think that you might find that you attract envy from people around you because they're seeing you move forwards and progress possibly more quickly than they are. Another aspect of this is that it may happen so quickly that you will honestly be literally wondering, how to kind of almost hold on to yourself because it'll happen so quickly. So just, shield yourself. Ask for support and help and guidance and protection. We'll draw more cards in a second. Ask for what you need when you need it. Because interestingly enough, that there's like a really interesting, I want to call it a layer of soul growth taking place here for you, reading number 2. The layer of soul growth is this return to innocence. It's kind of like, because you're stepping through doors, you're advancing, it's almost like it returns your faith. Maybe things that were battered or you didn't think were going to work out suddenly start to emerge and evolve. And it leaves you feeling very vulnerable because it's quite exposing for things. Success is quite exposing because we're stepping into the stuff that we wanted and the stuff that we've dreamed about. So in a way, your faith is being renewed, but simultaneously, a part of you will feel quite vulnerable through this process of initiation, this rite of passage, this stepping through the gate, navigating the ship into the harbour. I'm going to just say the harbour of your dreams. So hold your power, hold your own here, because there may be people around you who are I just think jealousy and envy are what keep coming to mind here. They really are. Your ability, I sort of feel like basically your ability to manifest is upping its game. And by that, I mean like bringing it into real form. It's this anchor point. Let's draw more cards for you. Oh, gosh, lots of cards throwing themselves out. Do you know, I'm just going to go with it. Those are the ones that just literally emerge from the pack. Let's see what we have. King of Gabriel, generous, inspirational, dramatic, driven. Keep your eyes on the big picture. Leave the details to others. Experience that leads to success with genuine concern for others. This is very interesting given the messages that are coming through here. We then have Six of Raphael. Embrace your inner child. New friends or rekindled relationships, children or childhood. We have Six of Ariel. Material needs get fulfilled in magical and unexpected ways. Acts of kindness, giving or receiving with a grateful heart. Page of Raphael. Gentle, loving, dreamy, open-hearted. A new emotional situation. Messages regarding relationships or social invitations. Great intuitive insights. Wow, the World and Eight of Gabriel. Okay, a very happy ending, coming full circle, spiritual growth and insight. Archangel Michael. And then Eight of Gabriel, a great deal of activity, sudden and immediate results, important communication. Very interesting. That card came up in reading number 1 as well. So what I want to say to you, reading number 2. You're navigating something, trundling along very well, working at it, that's fine. It's like eclipse season is bringing an energy of new beginnings, and it's not an entirely new beginning, it's just the emergence of something. And I think as you emerge, like a rebirth, it's going to happen very quickly. A great deal of activity, sudden and immediate results, important communications. And I feel like you might find yourself suddenly having success, okay? And within that success, then being called to need to think about who you share it with, okay? Shield yourself. Prayer will help this situation. When you do well, innocence. When you do well and people see that you're doing well, they want what you've got. Envy and jealousy keep coming through in this reading. I'm just going to have to say it how I feel it and how I read it. Think about who you give to. You have absolutely every opportunity to share your success. And it's beautiful. Reading number 2. Advancement, adventure, share your success, balance giving and receiving. Share your success, but be thoughtful about who you share it with, because when you are successful, a ton of people will come forward saying, oh, could I have a bit of that? Could you help me? Could you do this? Could you do that? Actually, be generous, but also be very thoughtful. Embrace the leadership of generosity. Take back your power. Shield yourself. Take time to meditate. Engage in prayer in order to make sure that when you do share, you don't get the wool pulled over your eyes. You're sharing with the right people and in the right way. You're not just giving away your success. Yes, give it away, but give it away to the right circumstances, the right people, the right charity, and don't give it all away so that you then get out of balance. This is a time for your own advancement, and it will naturally evoke responses and reactions from people when they see you advancing and see the success that you are bringing into your life. They will want to latch onto that and jump in on that as well. So this is a time to be very, very thoughtful about that. Okay, so embrace your success, steer your ship, which you are already steering, into your harbour. put down the anchor, load it up with the abundance that's coming in, and then when loads and loads and loads of people arrive on the quay saying, oh, can I have some, I need this, I need that, think about very carefully how and who you wish to give to and in what way, and hold your power. Keep a hold of the reins, okay? This is very, very interesting. I think what we will do is just draw a few more cards, really. Actually, your reading number 2 is very, very clear. I mean, it's exciting, it's fantastic, with this little bit of thoughtful information coming in from your angels to say, you know, hold your power, take back your power, don't have the wool pulled over your eyes. You can be innocent without being naive. Okay, there's a difference, okay? And this is, success is coming in. It's going to be really busy. And I think because it happens so fast, you are going to be rushed off your feet. There's no question of it. Let's ask if there's any other information. I mean, this kind of figures in the space of eclipse season, when transformation happens very quickly, sometimes very, very quickly. Let's ask for more information. There's your first card for reading number 2. May we be given additional guidance and more information for reading number 2. I'm seeing those 2 as well. Okay. Wow, look at this. We have Ace of Swords. Then the Chariot. We did say things are moving fast. We have new beginnings, we have things moving fast, and my goodness me, we have the Tower. So we're talking very big, you know, life-changing stuff really here. Something taking off, manifesting. But yes, will you be torn between, you know, people saying, I need this, I need that. Hold your strength. There's a really interesting duality here. I'm just going to put these cards down here for just one moment. Let's look at these first. I do feel like there could be a real call to sort of like of people wanting stuff from you. You know, I do feel this sort of almost like a, pulling in different directions, pulling on your heartstrings basically. But we have this beautiful card of strength with the heart intact around her neck here. She is both a lion and a lamb. Okay, so she knows. This card knows. We have the infinity sign here on her arm. This is an energy, a strength card that knows how to keep things in balance and knows when to say yes, when to say no. Okay? So you've got that, it is exactly that, it's that innocence without naivety. Okay, so you're really being given the heads up here, super souls, in terms of how this situation may emerge. And I'm loving this. So we've got 7 of Wands and 9 of Wands. Absolutely loving this, because it's kind of like you're actually pretty wise. I just want to say, guys, you're pretty wise to this sort of stuff, aren't you? You've probably experienced energy, jealousy previously. You're really very wise to it. You kind of know what it's about, and you're at that stage in your own evolution. You've overcome enough hurdles in your life to kind of hold your own light, to stay in your own bubble of energy. You know, it's lovely that we have this card here from Archangel Michael saying, shield yourself. You know, you're particularly sensitive to things. You're sensitive because you're successful. And you are very, you know, when success comes and it happens quickly, whatever area of your life that is, when it happens very quickly, you know, you're going to be sort of like, wow, you know, and we are seeing it happen very quickly. This is very life-changing. Yeah, and it will pull on your heartstrings a bit, but honestly, you're pretty wise to this sort of stuff. You know how to deal with it. We've got this lovely card here. King of Gabriel, generous, inspirational, dramatic, driven. Keep your eyes on the big picture. Leave the details to others. Experience that leads to success with genuine concern for others. It means you can hold the real concern for other people without being drawn into anything that feels like your buttons are being pressed and you're kind of just basically being poked. You're going to hold your own energy. Been there, done that. You've overcome enough in your life to be able to hold your own light. It's cool. I sort of want to say, you're cool. You're okay. This is cool. The world is coming your way. It's going to be very busy. Very, very busy. It's going to be fast moving. Something is literally, it's the emergence. It's that point of emergence, that point of happening. I'm really, really excited for you, reading number 2, because it is that point where the butterfly comes out of the chrysalis. It's the moment of, here we are. We're landing, we're moving. We're not just landing and emerging. You're moving, you're ploughing ahead. It's changing, it's shifting, it's happening. And yeah, your material needs get fulfilled. Your emotional needs get fulfilled. This is that point where, you know, I think, and this has been really interesting because it's come out in a few of the spontaneous readings and the weekly readings that I do on Sundays as well for weekly guidance. Some of you are really working in terms of your own evolution and manifestation. It's like you're working in more than one area of your life, and it's like simultaneously these different components are all clicking into place. So it's not just career, it's not just relationship, it's like both, or it's not just family, or it's like lots of things are all clicking into place. You've kind of overcome so many hurdles that even though I can't say that you won't feel the vulnerability that comes with fast success, because I think you will, because that's inevitable, it's real, and the vulnerability that comes with busyness, but you're wise to the stuff that's going on around you. So, you know, you're cool. You know, you're cool. I mean, this is lovely. I am so excited for you because this is emerging, it's happening. This is the rite of passage. I think this is literally, timing wise, I think I said this in reading 1 actually, that because we're doing this reading within eclipse season, we're doing it just before a new moon. I sort of feel when you do a reading in eclipse season, even if when you watch this, it could be months later, you could pick it up in the Timeless Readings playlist. But if you are, if you're tuning into this, it doesn't matter when you're tuning into it, the speed of the eclipse energy is with you in whatever is going to be shifting and moving forwards. And I think it's quite interesting. I felt in reading 1, we were given quite clear timings in terms of eclipse season. You know, we're talking about a moon month, or a period of, you know, the new moon to the full moon, the new moon eclipse, the full moon eclipse. You know, sometimes we have, you know, it's basically a period of time that doesn't connect to a lunar, a normal human calendar, like our calendar dates. It connects to natural dates, to a period that connects to some aspect of a natural cycle, whether that's an eclipse season or a moon month, or there's something about the timing that we're shown here. So whenever you come to this reading, I do feel there'll be some aspect of something that's going to happen within quite a short space of time. So, wow. Have an amazing success. Have whatever it is you're manifesting, whatever you've been working at, whatever is emerging, whatever comes to you, whether this is money, whether it's fulfillment in relationship, whether it's overcoming, or whether it's even having children, you know, new friends, whether it's finding a new friendship group. It's all coming together, whether you're moving into a new community. It's all coming together, and it's going to come together quickly. So wherever you are steering your ship, even if there is more than one bounty in the harbour, super souls, yeah, you're cool. Sending you all the love in the world, reading number 2. I really am. Don't forget to subscribe, press the little bell icon if you would like anything I post, including my weekly readings or the spontaneous readings or the moon updates or the webinars. If you want any of these things to come into your stream, if you subscribe and hit the little bell icon, they should do. And thank you so much for your comments, your likes, your shares. If your comments don't show up straight away, all the comments on this channel are now held for review. It's actually stopping some of the scamming that's going on, which is amazing. It's offering you guys the protection so people can't approach you inappropriately, which is just fab and lovely. So and thank you so much to all of you who give back through the super thanks and also support all of the stuff I do through Patreon. I will put all the links to anything and everything that might be relevant, that might interest you, in the information box and the comments. And I'm thrilled for you. I am just thrilled for you. It's like, it's life-changing, but it's coming together. I mean, wow, it's just amazing. Tons of love. Welcome, reading number 3. You have been guided in by the card of the 3 of Angels, clarification, a beautiful angel wing, and the rune of ice. Now, in some packs, this is actually the 3 of Swords. So quite interesting that we have the rune of ice, which is about standstill. So let's draw some more cards for you before we start really tuning into your messages, your new moon eclipse messages. Of course, you could be watching this reading at any time, but we will just say a little bit about that in a moment. I think we will settle with those cards and we'll draw some other angel cards too. Okay, those cards want to come out for you, that's for sure, and that one. Okay, what else do we have here? There's your card. I'm going to go with both of these today, actually. Reading number 3. Let's have a look and see what we have here. Okay, so we have an Archangel Michael card that says you and your loved ones are safe. Okay, decide to be happy now. Monkey, experience all that life has to offer. Archangel Raphael. Teaching and learning, relationship harmony. Okay, let's lay all these out. So, you and your loved ones are safe. That's a big statement. Decide to be happy now. Experience all that life has to offer, relationship harmony, teaching. Oh, this is just beautiful. Can you just see this beautiful picture? Look at this. There's so much healing energy around you. Clarification, 3 of Swords. I feel like something gets fixed for you guys. And it feels really beautiful. Angel of Health, Angel of Power. Beautiful, beautiful cards. Yeah, I feel like something gets fixed for you guys in eclipse season. When I say eclipse season, this is a timeless reading. So what I was about to say a minute ago was, this is a timeless reading. You can find these readings in my timeless readings playlist. Many of them answer very, very specific questions. It's a resource to access at any time. And do in the comments, please, you know, if you have a reading that you'd really like me to do, if you just put your suggestions forwards, I will put those on my list. And when the timing is right, I will do them for you. Now, oh, and I should just say, if you do comment and you don't see your comment go live immediately, all the comments on this channel are now held for review. It means that we can stop the scammers, that there's just been so many in all of the tarot channels. And so it's just been really helpful to be able to do that. This is really interesting. Something gets fixed here. And because I'm doing the reading at the time of a new moon eclipse, New moons are about beginnings. The energy is supporting a shift to a new beginning. Now, even if you are watching this in months and months time, you know, or 6 months time, a year's time, even if you're watching this and it's not eclipse season, the energy is exactly the same. Something is going to be shifting. Something's coming. It's being repaired. Something's getting sorted, fixed, addressed. Something that didn't feel okay is about to become okay. Really interesting. It's like there's something happens. We'll be drawing a lot more cards for your reading number 3. Something that has felt stuck, as if it's surrounded by fog, or it's like the ice melts. The ice melts and the heartbreak gets sorted. Look at this with the lilies. She has lilies here. Clarification. Things become clear. The way forward gets sorted. It's like something gets left behind, something gets addressed. It's like something that was a problem is no longer a problem. Yeah, literally. It's lovely. Wow. The new moon energy is bringing a massive shift in your world. Reading number 3. The ice melts. It's like there's a thaw coming in. It's very much divinely guided, I would have to say, with this beautiful angel wing. It's like the energy is just swirling around you to bring about safety, happiness. It's bringing harmony. This is very interesting as well, the teaching and learning card, because I sort of feel like several messages coming through. For some of you, it may honestly just be that you have learned to handle something differently to the point where your energy is so good that a previous problem just gets sorted out. It flows into being. For others, it's almost as if somebody has learned something and they've learned enough. They find out about something, they learn something, and it changes the situation in some way. There's an empowerment through learning, knowing something, learning about something, seeing something that brings you the empowerment you need to then hold the course. But somehow something gets fixed here. Page of Angels, mysticism. The Magician, impulse. Look at these butterflies swirling around you. And then 4 of Stars, advancement. But this is self-advancement. It's interesting. Some of these cards have come up in some of the other readings. So if you're drawn to more than one reading, that may well be why. I mean, there's so much shifting taking place here, and for some of you that's in more than one area of your world at the moment. But this is very specific, reading number 3. Something that has been like a stalemate or stuck or felt blocked or frozen is going to thaw. It's going to be released. We're going to see the shift into a space of harmony. Something will get sorted out. Either someone will learn about something, or you will learn about something. Something will be shown to you very specifically, but it's going to shift and move things forwards. It will advance the situation. So whatever has been, stuck, not right, not okay, tangled, conflicted, it's going to be shifting. Interestingly enough, I just want to say, reading number 3, I feel you're quite wise about this situation. Which is really interesting, because I think what's going to happen is this is going to advance, because I think you already know something. I think you have some knowledge or some awareness or something that gives you a genuine clarification here. You already have a piece of knowledge or an awareness. You already know something about something that's going on, or you know about something about someone who maybe has behaved badly or has caused a blockage or some stuckness or conflict for other people. You already know this. You're quite wise actually about this, but you haven't known what to do about it. And I think you may even have been a bit torn, where you've been thinking, well, I don't want to say something because I don't want to slate somebody behind their back. On the other hand, I'm not comfortable with the way that this person is behaving, or some aspect of a situation. You've known about something for quite a while. But now other people see it for what it is as well. Other people get to see this situation, and because other people see it for what it is, something gets then fixed. So something that possibly even slightly isolated you or set you apart because you kind of knew. You've had to stand back in the shadows. You know when you have a piece of information about somebody or something and you know it's not appropriate to share it and you don't want to go down that road, but you haven't quite known what to do with it and it's sort of kept you in a stuck position. That's shifting. People are going to see what's been going on very, very clearly. And interestingly enough, if you were in any way someone who, and I think this is true for some of you, someone who was sort of like held up as the bad guy, actually, even though you hadn't really done anything wrong. Well, you knew you hadn't done anything wrong, but you were sort of either dragged into something or held up and seen in a particular light. You're going to be seen. You were in the shadows because you weren't being seen for who you really are. That's changing. People are going to see the reality of the situation. I feel there's almost like a vindication, is the word I'm looking for here, where you regain your power. What's lovely is I'm seeing you regain it in a way that is not, it's not egotistical or triumphant in a self-righteous way. What I see is it's in a very knowing way, that you just, it's like you're right, okay, so this is great, it can now advance, it can now move forwards. I'm so grateful that we're no longer stuck in this. You know, it's like a healthy shift forwards rather than an unhealthy one. So yeah, there's no fueling your own, self-righteousness is the right way. There's none of that going on here. It's you very calmly, with great wisdom and great grace and decorum, saying, you know, I'm really glad that this is now out in the open. This is what needs to happen. It needs to, and it's like as if by magic, the stuff just surfaces. People, you don't have to do anything. People suddenly twig and they see it and information comes to light and it's like, oh wow, I'm so glad that now happened. But there's, what I'm seeing is in a very quiet, gentle, wise way, you're like, okay, this is great, this can now move forwards, you know, rather than, oh, I told you so. There's none of that going on here. And I really honour you for the way that you have navigated this entire situation, because it's felt stuck for a little while, and for some people it's probably felt stuck for quite a long time, but it's something that maybe is somehow it's come to the fore relatively recently. You can shift, you can be happy now, you can relax. Everything is going to get sorted. And it's that sort of, the truth will out, and there you are in your graceful state of, well, I'm glad it's sorted, I'm glad we can see where we are now, now we can move forwards. It's very beautiful reading number 3. Let's draw more cards for you. I'm very intrigued by what we're being shown here for you. There's your last card. Let's have a look and see what we have here for you. Look at this. 4 of Michael. Insights that come from quiet meditation. The need for more sleep or time off. Seek relief from stress. Lovely. peace. Release the past. There is a more enriching future coming. Let go and it just says let go and let God, but I'm assuming it's let go and let God take care of things. I think literally things are going to be seen, things that have caused you to feel trapped, stuck, unable to move forwards in whatever situation that is. It gets, and doesn't it get sorted? We have the card of the Sun, Archangel Uriel. Life is wonderful. Thrive through the power of positive thinking and inspiring success. King of Gabriel, generous, inspirational, dramatic, driven. Keep your eyes on the big picture. Leave the details to others. Experience that leads to success. Genuine concern for others. This is you doing this wonderful bit of grace. This sort of, right, I'm glad everything's out in the open. This is so important. Now we can move it forwards. Holding that really powerfully. Well, it's like leadership at its best from a spiritual perspective. King of Gabriel, generous of spirit. Here we go. Look at this. 7 of Ariel. You have invested wisely. Have patience and wait for the harvest. Review your progress and make plans for your next endeavour. Yeah. Something that was stuck, whatever it has been in the uniqueness of your world. Reading number 3. This is a new moon eclipse reading. Even though it's a timeless reading, the energy of the new moon beginnings and the way in which we get a shift during eclipse season is with this reading. So even if you're watching this reading in 3 months' time or 6 months' time, the energy of a resolution, the new beginning that comes from the shift of something quite powerful is going to be around you. And I've been saying in the other 2 readings, within, I think, quite a natural space and time. Eclipse season is quite precise, but it's not to do with calendar, our sort of, the way that we mark time in our calendar. It's to do with the natural rhythms and cycles of the moon, of the sun, of the connection, the relationship between them. I think there'll be a natural period through which this gets sorted, but I think it's going to happen bing, 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 like that. These insights, these awarenesses, stuff is going to come to light, stuff is going to be seen. And you are going to emerge. I actually want to sort of say, I think you're going to emerge victorious. But what I'm loving here, and these cards are honestly reinforcing it so clearly, it's not an ego victorious, it's a, I am so glad this has got sorted. And you are now seen for who you are. You've invested wisely, you've been patient, you've been waiting for this moment to happen. You've walked the higher ground and taken quite a lot in the process, I think, on occasion as well, I would actually say. But here you are, it's this sense of real empowerment. I love this feeling as well of, eclipse season, a new moon, the sun and the moon sit together. It's like a sacred marriage. And I love that in the Angel of Power, what we have is a sort of, in terms of okay, it's a gender picture. We've got a male angel and a female of empowerment. And then in the 7 of Ariel, we have a beautiful female angel with a male of empowerment with the crystal. It's like there's balance here between the masculine and the feminine. There's the perfect balance. There's the perfect resolution. There's the empowerment that comes from this incredible energy of the eclipse season that is all about bringing about and creating and shifting change, and the kind of change that is needed. One thing after another will be shown and revealed. People are going to see the situation and the circumstances in a very real way. They're going to see what you have seen and known about for probably quite a long time. It will be revealed. And because of that, the past can be let go of. And this rune of ice, I'm going to do a little bit of energy shifting. Now, I've not done this for a little while in my readings. And for those of you who followed my readings for a while, you'll know that sometimes I do. So what we're going to do is I'm going to move these cards here first of all, so we can see how this is going to emerge. What I want, the energy I want to shift is very distinct, because it's to do with the way things are seen. Yep, things get seen and it creates an advancement. Okay, I'm going to move these over. This is the transformation. This is the movement of, it's the point where the ice can thaw. So I'm going to get a crystal out, I think, actually, and excuse me while I reach across to my crystals. And in fact, actually, I've got a crystal right next to me that I'm going to use for this, because I have a beautiful piece of raw carnelian. This is an amazing stone. I always feel this, I always say to people, it does exactly what it says on the tin. Carnelian is, the energy of carnelian gives us perseverance, strength, resilience, and the ability to see something through to the finish. I always feel that's what this beautiful crystal offers us. So I'm going, because I feel you've had to work at something and yet it's remained stuck because people have been blocked or not interested or not wanting to listen, or stuff has been said and they've taken it on face value when it wasn't really true anyway. There's stuff going on of that sort of ilk, and it's caused this sort of stuckness. What we're going to see, so let's bring in the energy of carnelian, connecting into the energy of the new moon, bringing about new beginnings, the masculine and the feminine, the divine masculine, the divine feminine coming together, uniting in that moment, that spark of creativity. And what we also see, eclipse season, is an opportunity to shift things forward so that what takes place in the now changes the future. So whatever the past has been, by shifting the energy in the now, by things altering in the now, everything changes and the future kind of comes together. There's healing, there's reparation, there's a resolution, because things are seen and known. It does actually feel like, yeah, that was the word I used earlier. It was very validation, you know, on your part. But, so let's bring in this energy here. Sit with the cards just as they are. I'm going to bring this energy in, like stream it through the reading. Sit it here with this card of power. And what we're going to do is we're going to shift with the guidance and support of the angels here. We're going to shift the energy of this rune from being stuck, things being shown, to a space, oh, that feels better, of flow. Okay, so now the ice thaws, the energy is moving forwards, and that's what we then see in our cards. Peace. You can breathe again. The sun. Life is wonderful. This is happening. This is moving. Something comes to an end in a really, really good way. As it comes to an end, you are able to hold that generosity of spirit, that kindness, that compassion, despite the stuff that you are aware of. You really are able to embrace that compassion. You don't diminish yourself in any way. But there is no need for retribution. Things are seen. I do feel vindicated is the right word. I feel you are going to be vindicated in some way, shape or form. And the lovely thing is, you have that quiet power about you that comes from a proper, I want to say a proper old soul coming here to do this level of work, meeting with the level of resistance that old souls inevitably do. I mean, that's somebody asked me, I uploaded a starseed reading, it was just last week actually. It's in the Timeless Readings playlist for anyone that wants to find it. And somebody said, what is a starseed person? A starseed person is somebody who is an old soul. They've had quite a few lifetimes, but they come here with a lot of wisdom. Their lives are very often not easy, But they're not easy because they are coming here with purpose, and they sometimes meet some very, very challenging people. But it requires somebody with their strength, their wisdom, to put an end to things repeating. Because so often if we meet people who behave badly, we feel like retaliating. And of course, all we do energetically is ultimately fuel more of the same. It takes a lot to handle something in this way. And so it's very often that starseed people who will come in, they face a lot of challenges, but ultimately they find a way of holding the light regardless of what's happening. And they find a way of being compassionate. Doesn't mean they accept something. They may well be saying no very clearly. Doesn't mean they don't engage with stuff or have an easy life or walk away. But they do ultimately receive a level of vindication that's there at a level of soul. It's kind of like honor. Honor is food for the soul. It's like, you know, you guys know that you did the right thing. And ultimately, it's come into balance for you. The vindication is there, but you're not up there whooping it up. You're kind of, if anything, there's almost like a quiet, gentle sadness that this even had to happen. But it's holding that level of energy, and it's very beautiful. So I would imagine many of you who are drawn to this reading number 3 may well be starseed people. You may well have had several lives, many lives, and you've come here, and life won't necessarily have been easy. But you'll also be navigating ways of owning your own power, but doing so in a particular way. I hope so. Just adding that into this reading, I hope that's helpful. Super Souls, let's draw, because I feel this is really beautiful and the outcome is clear. Something is going to re-find its sort of rightful flow within a natural space and time whenever you're watching this reading. But let's ask for some more information for reading number 3. I think maybe another. Yes. That's your cards. What else are we shown for reading number 3? Maybe shown how this is going to emerge and flow. Oh wow, look at this. Wow, what a validation. Judgment. Wow, judgment and justice. Now, what did I say about validation? I mean, you could not, you couldn't write it, could you really? I mean, judgment, justice. This is the validation. This is the vindication that I've been talking about. Okay? And wow, your strength. You know, you've really, really walked that course. You have been so vulnerable on occasions because of what's been taking place, but you've held it with strength. You never buckled, even though you may on occasions have really felt like it. Now things are moving ahead. We have the Knight of Swords. Things are going to move forwards. They are going to be different. You yourself will be able to now move forwards. Whereas previously something of this held you back, you yourself can now move your own life forwards. Absolutely. Look at this. Look at these cards. I mean, these are amazing. Look at these cards. This is fantastic. So we have judgment, justice, strength. Knight of Swords, 8 of Pentacles, King of Wands. I mean, this, well, I'm just going to put these down for one moment, but wow, reading number 3. You're going to move forwards. You will now be able to actively create, manifest, build, move forward. Stuff that lingered, that held you back from this, that was the stuckness, it's gone. King of Wands, wow. I mean, you know, this is moving ahead. It's happening. It's creative. It's manifesting. It's abundant. It's taking charge, and it's that power. It's like you really come into your own. This is, the timing of this is extraordinary, and these cards are amazing. You come back into balance. Whatever was stopping you from moving forwards is changing. And look what we finish with, the card of victory. And this is public success, being seen, you know, the being vindicated, and yet owning it in such a quiet, balanced kind of way. And again, we have that recognition of balance, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. It's like you're able to hold this level of energy in such a delightful way, and public success, validation, recognition. Reading number 3, whatever this was, it's going to shift, it's going to move, it's going to happen. Judgment, justice. Well, I don't think I can say any more except really, really honour you for what you've sorted out, what you've been through, what you've navigated. I think many of you are starseed people. You've been around a few times, and this is a level of stuff. You've had to face some big challenges, but this is that wonderful point where there's a shift and a change and people see what's really been going on. And it's gorgeous. Super souls, I don't think I'm going to say any more. If you'd like to subscribe and get notification basically of any of my readings as I upload them, if you subscribe and hit the little bell icon, they should come into your stream. I'm going to put all sorts of links and information in the information box and the comments for phone users. I have a monthly prize draw where I give away a free private reading, some oracle cards, a diary and a journal. Obviously watch out if you're on my subscriber email list. It is a subscriber offer. If you're on my subscriber email list, then do check out the notification that I make. I upload a video every month to announce the winners. I'll put the link to that in the information box, and anything and everything that might be of help to you guys or of interest, because I put tons of stuff into the world. Super souls, I'm kind of blown away by this reading because it feels like you've waited a long time being blocked by someone or circumstances or people not seeing the truth, and this is a point of liberation for you actually. But it's not just liberation in a woohoo way, it's liberation in a way that is there's so much honor attached to this. It's absolutely yeah, it's mind-blowing really. So just huge respect, tons and tons of love. Thank you to all of you who are liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and thank you to those who've been giving back through the super thanks in the comments. And if I have already said it, my apologies. When you do more than one reading, you sometimes don't remember what, because you're involved. Obviously I'm involved in the reading. I don't remember what I've said and what I haven't. If your comments don't show up, if you make them immediately, anything on this channel now is held back for review so that we can check, and it's really working. It's stopping the sort of, there's loads of people scamming tarot channels at the moment on YouTube, and it's stopping that from happening, and it's working beautifully. So if you don't see your comments show up, it just means that we need to sort of tick it off first, and we will do that, myself and a colleague, you know, as often as we're able to do so. Super souls, this is beautiful and amazing, and I just you're amazing basically, so way to go. Tons of love, and yeah, thank you all of you for being a part of this amazing community.